What do you do when you see a spider in your house? Probably put a glass over it and take it outside. Or kill it, you monster. You probably wouldn't start talking to it. You probably wouldn't start taking care of it. And you probably wouldn't break down in tears at the thought of its death. But what if a game could make you feel that? What if a game could make you call a spider your best friend? Let's talk about Presentable Liberty, shall we? But, once again, before we go any further, two things. One, this is a game worth experiencing blind. If you haven't played it yet, please go play it. It's free to play, it's about an hour long, it will change your life. It is an experience. But also, this is the part where the second part of audience participation comes in. So please, once again, do not check the comment section yet. But with that out of the way, let's talk about Presentable Liberty. First, taking a drink. Let me get another bottle actually, because I can tell how long this section's going to be. Got my bottle. Despite the fact I have an entire other video on the channel talking about the game and how it breaks the one cardinal rule of storytelling, but in doing so, only makes the game that much more impressive and does stuff AAA games fail to do. Presentable Liberty is a pixel art game made up of dull greys, where you are isolated in a cell for almost the entirety of the game. The only contact you have with the outside world is letters slid under your door. There are no voices in the game, only writing. Because of this though, through these letters, every single player creates a picture of what they imagine Salvador, Charlotte, Dr. Money, and your happy buddy looks and sound like. And this is where the second part of audience participation comes in. I asked you not to look at the comment section because, once again, I'm going to ask you, hey, what do you think these characters look like? What do you think Salvador, Charlotte, Dr. Money, your happy buddy look like? What sort of clothes do they wear? How do they wear them? What race are they? What sort of hair do they have? What colour? Do they take care of it? How old are they? Tell me what your version of the character looks like. I've left mine. Let's compare versions. Once that's done, continue watching. I'll give you a moment here to pause the video. For those of you who took part in that, thank you, legitimately. This is going to be such a cool experiment if it actually works. That was really dumb. But yeah, thank you, legitimately. This is going to be such a cool fucking experiment, and I cannot wait to see the results. Now, beyond Salvador, Charlotte, Dr. Money, and your happy buddy, there's one more character who you do actually get to see, who you do get to interact with, sort of, who you do get to talk to, once again, sort of. In one of your happy buddy's letters, they include a bug who I call Jerry. Okay, well, technically Jacksepticeye called him Jerry, but Jerry is such a perfect name for a bug that just going forward, any pet I have I call Jerry because Jerry is the perfect name for a pet like Jerry. Sorry if your name's Jerry, I kind of called you a pet. I also want to take this moment to admit to the fact that, yes, I did not play this game blind. I watched Jacksepticeye's playthrough first, and then I played myself. However, even though I knew the exact story, even though I knew how it ended, even though I knew what the story was about and what it made you feel, it still broke me, it still hit me, and it still made me feel things I didn't know a game could make you feel, which is damn impressive. Jerry is just a handful of pixels on the ground that just scurries around from time to time. And yet, my, and I'm sure many of yours, connection to this little handful of pixels that vaguely resembles a bug was so significant because it was the only real living thing we could interact with in this hour-plus experience. On top of that, as the game goes on, it becomes darker and darker. When you first start the game, you have no idea where you are or why. You don't even know who you are. Your character is never given a name, voice, or appearance. So you, as the player, end up imprinting your actual self onto the character and into the game. You're not playing as Keith Matheson, the 6'2" seasoned outdoorsman with a love for whittling and rough, coarse hands from years of handling wood and tools, who has a large scar on your palm from the time you grabbed the wrong side of the scalpel, who goes to pick up trash on Monday that has been left in the local forest, who dislikes the texture of peaches but loves the taste of them, so buys pre-pilled peaches in syrup, who speaks 4 languages and has a passion for baking. No, you play as yourself, and by the time the game does introduce small backstory parts about your character, you're far enough into the game that you've invested in this character as yourself, that you just sort of accept that, yeah, Salvador said I've been to South America, so I guess I've been to South America. I don't remember going to South America, but you know, Salvador says we did when we were younger, so guess I have. Yes, me. Even though I've never left this country, I've been to South America, because that's my character, and the character is me, so I've been to South America. So when the game does become more and more isolating, it makes you as the player feel more and more isolated. You're not just playing a game where you play as a character trapped in a small, cold cell. No, you are the one trapped in a cold, dark cell. The fact that the game gives you Jerry, and to an extent, Dr. Money's portable entertainment system, TM. It gives you momentary escape from the moments where you don't have to be alone in the silence of the game and the ticking of the clock. And if you want to take a deeper look into why and how silence in audio can massively elevate a game, I made 2 videos on that very topic that you can go watch after this one. One discussing audio in horror and the other discussing audio in general in games. However, during the game, there are several sections when you are left alone with just silence. The ticking of the clock and your own thoughts. In some cases, for a minute or more in real time. Humans will eventually try and fill the silence when this happens, as to create the idea that we're not completely alone. But you are. You are alone. On top of that, you're not alone in a cozy, warm, friendly location where you feel okay with silence, as the coziness of the room makes you feel the idea that any loud noise would disturb the innocence of the room. No, you're in a small, cold, empty, grey room. There is no warmth, there is no comfort. Everything in the room is sharp and bold. There are no soft edges or gentle curves. So the fact the game gives you something to keep you company, such as Jerry, is crucial. When you first encounter Jerry, you probably won't pay much attention. Oh, there's a bug in my room. Funny, what is this, a roach motel? Right, buddy? But as the game goes on, you'll find yourself, or at least I found myself, more and more talking to this handful of pixels and quickly becoming reliant on this handful of pixels to be able to pretend that I wasn't all alone. Even watching fail people's let's plays of this, they do the same things. They form bonds with Jerry. I was able to pretend that there was someone, anyone, even a pet that was there for me to spend time with. Someone to talk to, even if it was only a one-sided conversation, to just sit there or to have someone, anyone there, just so I didn't have to feel all alone. Even though he was just a bug, he was alive. He was another living thing in the world. It meant I wasn't all alone in this empty world. I could pretend he saw me as a friend, and that I had just one friend in this game, which wasn't just a random bug aimlessly running around in a confined space with no concept of the bigger world. Just like the player character, who is both you and me. In most cases, as the game goes on, Jerry ends up running under the bed, meaning you can't interact with him anymore for however long the rest of the game has. Suddenly, you are left all alone again. Sure, Jerry is still there, but you can never interact with him again. He's out of arm's reach, just that extra inch out of reach. Your only one physical, real friend is just out of reach, which makes it even more distractive. You want to reach out to your friend. You want to interact with them. You want someone, anyone there. But no matter how much you try, you're just that bit out of reach. Once again, you are left alone with just your thoughts and the silence of the ticking. Just waiting for the next letter that you have no idea when it will arrive, or if it even will arrive, whether there actually ever will be another letter, until finally, at the end of the game, you get 2 choices. Leave the cell or stay inside. At this point though, your happy buddy is dead. Salvador tried to set you free. The only one left is Charlotte, the owner of a little bakery just outside your prison. If you choose to stay in your cell, you die. A line of text tells you that Dr. Money came and harvested your organs. But if you choose to leave, if you choose to go outside, if you choose freedom, there is no music. No background noises. Just the ambience of a silent night and your footsteps in a dead world. You make your way over to the bakery. After all this time, you're going to meet Charlotte. You're going to get to interact with someone else. You won't be alone in this world. You're going to see another face in a world before the virus gets you. Finally, you get to Charlotte's door, and she's dead. She killed herself a few moments before you arrived. You were too late. Once again, just like Jerry running under the bed, your friend was just out of reach, no matter how much you tried. You could have met her if you had just gone there a few minutes earlier. But now, everyone you ever cared about in this world is dead. And soon, so will you be. The virus will infect you, and in a few days, you will die, cold and alone. There is no happy ending. In the end, you lose. Kind of a depressing ending, right? That's how the game ends. Humanity's wiped out, everyone dies. The end. No happy ending? Well, no. There's no happy ending for you. In the end, you will die. That is the story of the game. But right at the end, right at the very end of the game, there's a single scene. The final shot of the game is one of positivity, of one of hope. And for anyone that has played this game, which should be all of you, you know just how powerful this moment is and how hard it is to put into words. In this moment, we see Jerry leave the cell, still alive, still living, and still happy. And that fucking broke me, man. I broke down in tears when I saw that.